Well, thank you very much, Francis, and of course, a very good evening to the viewers of SABC, and of course, a full view. Indeed, as you've correctly said, Francis, with us is the president of the PAC, Mzwanele Nyhontso, who will really be sharing with us their dreams and their hopes as they campaign for the November 1 elections. And of course, had this interview taken place 2 months earlier, it certainly would not have taken place because of the issues the party has gone through. But I think we'll touch on that a bit later. For now, we'll just touch on exactly the issues that relate to local government elections. Mr. Nyhontso, it's good to have you on SABC after some time. But of course, it's a very important time. We are 17 days away from the election, and the PAC has said some of the interesting things about how it will go about in terms of fixing the issues around the local government. The starting point would be, what do you think is the weakest link in the governance of municipality currently?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. The starting point, the weakest link is the way local government has been run, is the way councillors are running the municipalities, including the officials, the administration. Yeah. The problem is that we employ people on the basis of a political party affiliation. And we elect councillors not on the basis of merit, at least a good track record in terms of service delivery and understanding between the people on the ground and the municipality. And that makes it very difficult for them to deliver the services. Remember, in each and every municipality, yeah, there's a budget. There's what they call IDP, sure, which should be having the needs of the particular community or wards in that municipality. And that IDP document stays there for 5 years. And councillors keep on submitting what they call demands from their communities. But at the end of the day, the Structures Act on the other side is saying the mayor must prioritize the needs of the community. Meaning, if the mayor does not see the need for my community to be prioritized, yeah, that community won't be prioritized. So that has been the weakest link.
Come November 1, South Africans simply decide to entrust the PAC with the responsibility of governing the majority of municipalities. What would be your first order of business?
Firstly, we'll take the land. That has always been our core business. Firstly, we'll repossess the land and give land to African people. Remember, when you have land, you have everything. When you have land, you are rich. When you have land, you have dignity. When you have land, more especially also in the rural areas, you work the land and produce food from that area. You will even stop the migration of our people to towns. They go to Cape Town and Joburg, and they are called migrants by Helen Zille in that part of the town. So that is the main thing.
But we are talking about municipalities. I think the most immediate need, yes, the land is quite important. We can't run away from it. But we are talking about delivering services, yes, to the people. So once you take municipalities, you go for the land. What about the sewage? What about the infrastructure, the roads, the potholes?
That's where I was going at. That after that, we must address the needs of the community. Remember, people need clean drinking water there. People need sanitation. People need food. People need employment. Remember, people out there are not working. And municipalities, yeah, have a role to play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, on the land issue, because there's just something I need to understand here. The residents of Soweto, for example, at the moment, not that they don't need land, but I think they have issues other than land that they need. So in 15 days' time, you take over power, and then you prioritize the land. So
we prioritize everything, including the land, including their needs. Remember, this is local government, as you said.
Yeah.
And in local government, issues and needs and demands of communities differ from one place to the other.
Yeah.
What is a key demand in my municipality in Eastern Cape, Kandane, cannot be the same people who are staying in Soweto, Mzwanele, and other places. So that's why we said we must have candidates who will understand exactly the problems of that particular municipality in a ward.
Well, because I think I was going to come to the issue of land, because I think that's the issue that the PAC has been known for the longest time. But in recent years, it would appear the EFF has eclipsed you on that one. So even their slogan, as we sit here, talks about land.
No, sure, but they're not talking about what we're talking about. They're talking about expropriation of land without compensation. Even the ruling party is talking about expropriation of land. We're talking about repossession of land. We are a dispossessed people, and therefore need to repossess land and restore to the African people.
Are you not worried? Yes, the issue of land is very important. Are you not worried that as soon as you go for that, for repossession, you may scare some of the investors who you would need to address some of those issues?
But these investors did not have any problem when they took our land. They did not even have a problem whether we're going to be scared or not. We cannot address the problems of our people if we are going to think about what the investors need. But anyway, they should not be scared.
Yes.
Because we are saying the land must be returned. The land must be restored. Why are they scared? Is it because they don't want Africans to benefit from what was given to them by God? Remember, 13% of the land is with us. And even that land is not the land, it's not the fertile land. Yeah. But they still hold on to 87%. They should be ashamed of themselves.
All right. I just want to understand you properly. Would you initiate discussions around repossession of land, or you simply say that which belongs to us must come back without any question? So what is the process of repossessing that land?
Of course, there will be a process. There will be initiatives. But of course, what was taken from us must come back to us. Even when Section 25 was discussed in Parliament, we made our own submissions and we explained the PAC position on land.
But these are municipalities. So the way you're talking about getting the land, yes, clearly you may not necessarily be empowered to do that.
In the municipalities.
So yes, how are you? So why is it such a priority in this context?
It is. In the municipalities, municipalities are distinct and have the right to take decisions. Remember, this is local state.
Yeah.
In that particular municipality, a council can take a decision and have bylaws and explain how are they going to access land. As I was saying, what we have in Eastern Cape may not be what they have in Swan, but municipalities have got that right. They have got the council decision is binding as long as it is taken by the majority.
Not really. I want you to understand me. I am not saying the issue of land is not important, but I just want to link your stance to what has been happening to you as a party. Do you think South Africans agree with that statement in their majority?
They do.
Okay. Why has the PAC not performed well in the elections, not only municipal, but also national elections, if they feel that statement is the right statement? We
had our own issues that we accept. We had our own problems that we accept. But the message, what the PAC stands for, is what African people want. And even the fact that this organization has been bedeviled by these problems was also man-made, because those who are in power or imperialists did not want PAC people to understand the message of the PAC, but they do. In fact, everybody wants to be relevant today in South African politics. Speak about land.
All right. Yes. Okay. All right. Here is my question. In 1994, we just looked into big elections. You did, okay, under the circumstances, fairly well. I think getting something like 244,000 votes, which I think, I mean, those were the first, I think, elections. So from there, the decline has been happening. In fact, this past election, 2019, as the PAC, the Party of Liberation, you have recorded the lowest number of votes 32,000 votes from registered people of 25 million. So you've been declining from 244 to at some point 113 to 48,000 in 2009 to 37,000 in 2014. You are 32,000. So electorally, you are declining. So that's why I'm saying, do you think this message is being, or are you framing it the right way? Maybe let me put it that way. Are you framing the message of land the right way?
I think so, we do. We are. Remember,
how do you then reconcile your electoral decline? Because at this rate,
yes,
you may find yourself out of parliament unless you arrest the decline.
We'll find ourselves with more seats in parliament. This is the only elections that PAC is approaching talking one language. This is the only election that PAC is approaching with a united PAC. Even in 1994, we had these problems. And now that we are united and everyone is talking about one thing, PAC must be voted, PAC must be saved. Now we are going to these ones, a united party and a strong party.
United. Let's deal with the issue of unity. When I did my introduction, when I was welcoming you, I said, had we spoken 2 months before today, we would not have this because we did not know who the PAC is. But of course, the court has ruled. Currently, your rival, I'm going to put it that way, doesn't feel the way you do. You are saying to me here, you are united. He doesn't feel that way. In fact, when, as the SABC were saying, we're going to be speaking to the PAC, he actually sent me the court papers to say, you know what, those people we are speaking to are not the PAC. We know the court has said what it said, but we're in the process of challenging it. So you can't speak about unity.
No, we have narrowed the PAC problem to an individual versus PAC. You are not even saying members of the PAC out there were complaining that this is not the PAC. I like how you put it, your rival. Exactly. The PAC has always been, the problem has always been here at the top.
Yes.
Maybe between me and Apa, between me and the Tlapa, between me and Mbinda, and between me and the so-called rival. But the branches, the structures on the ground of the PAC have always been united. The problem is not with us.
Not true. Okay. As the SABC, we've witnessed a situation where we get interrupted on a live television. You know that. In Val, some couple of years ago, we were interrupted.
Tell me yes, an event where you were interrupted after 2019 Kimberley Unity Conference, because it is that conference, that united all of us.
Which one?
2019 in Kimberley, the Unity, not the Congress, but the Unity Conference, which was convened by veterans, former leaders, and everyone, where we dissolved all factions and go for a national congress in December the same year.
The fact that you are still going to court today does show that we are not united.
No, we are not going to court today. We are not in court. Even
Mr. Moloto is challenging you in court as we sit here.
He challenged the judgment and
he appealed. He's been challenging the
That's his right.
That's what I'm saying to you.
That's his right.
I'm talking about something. As soon as they realized that we were speaking to you, they said, they were challenging me to say, so you are going ahead speaking to those people because they still don't believe. So I'm basically saying, I know you are aspiring for unity, but currently you are house divided. And perhaps that's the reason why we see the electoral decline.
I admitted that. I said it declined because we had problems. And I said now we are not structures on the ground are united. And people out there receive positively the message of the PAC. And individuals will always be there to challenge whatever. But the truth is the PAC is no longer divided. Parties, big parties, are going to court every day these days. They are going to court every day. But you can't say those parties are not united because some individuals are going to court. They'll always be there. But I'm saying to you, structures of the PAC, even before the court, we were all over the country, all over, reviving structures, building branches of the PAC, taking PAC message throughout the country after the unity conference. That's why I say we are united.
In your view, what is the genesis of the difficulties that the PAC is going through, starting from 1994? Because even the former leader, Makwetu, was booted out. I mean, because there were already fights. In fact, as I sit here, I can count so many presidents of the PAC, and then in and out of court, the court restores this one. So, what is the genesis of your problem?
It's the enemies of the PAC. The enemies
from within?
Not from within, but they are using some from within. But after the Kimberley conference, we've managed to identify the problems. And as I've said to you, we've narrowed everything down to an individual versus PAC. Hence, we're here today with a united PAC, with PAC that is going to elections. Anyway, we should be having this debate after the 1st of November because figures don't lie. You'll see the difference.
Of course, I'll be here. I'll speak to you. You're saying you've narrowed this to an individual. Is that individual Nares Moloto?
Yes.
But he feels exactly the same way like you do if we speak to him.
You were in Duduza. We were launching the manifesto. Yes. I was not an individual. PAC members were there. SABC was in Port Elizabeth with me last week. Members of the PAC were there. Yeah. We are all over the country. We'll be in Mzwanele tomorrow. We'll be in Soweto on Saturday. We'll be in Limpopo on Sunday. Yeah. We're in Eastern Cape next. I'm not an individual. We are members. We are structures of the PAC. The PAC has always been there. Fortunately, this time you are always with us. So you can't call that me as an individual.
Sure.
But tell me events where you attended this individual with PAC members.
But of course, after the court, then court recognized you. Then we decided we'll cover you because you have been declared and then you were reinstated in Parliament. And so we are covering you.
And after the court has declared me,
yes,
we did not only take the court and celebrate, we also extend an olive branch to everyone who was misled or conscious or unconsciously out of the PAC, and people are back working for the PAC.
When is the next conference to elect the refreshed leadership of the PAC?
Next year.
Next year?
Yes.
The date?
Let's say between September and December.
Are you standing?
I don't know. That cannot be the case. It's branches of the PAC that nominate people. You don't go to the mirror and say that this one must stand. You wait for branches to make nominations. So if branches don't want me to stand, I won't stand.
Currently, you have, in the councils, you have 12 members across the country. From more than 10,000 members, representatives and councillors, yes. Is this not an indictment on the PAC that from close to 11,000, you only have 12 members?
It is an indictment. That is why members, founders, veterans, former leaders of this party had to call us. Because all this, you see, before 2016, there were 4 or 5 factions of the PAC. People were calling themselves presidents of the PAC. But after the veterans called all of us in Kimberley and said exactly what you are saying, that this is an indictment on our side. We can't die with the PAC in this mess. And that's when we're united. And from there, we never looked back. We revived structures. Come 1st of November, 27 years of betrayal will end.
And the 1st of November is around the corner.
Oh, yes.
So you are well aware of that. So, and as the SABC would obviously hold you to account to that.
No, definitely. I won't eat my head.
So what are you going to do?
I will be in one of the municipalities congratulating PAC councillors.
Which are the likely municipalities that you are likely to get?
All I know, we've registered in all metros except Bloemfontein. And in local municipalities, there are areas where we feel that here there will be, we may even be kingmakers, but because we're contesting seriously, more especially in Limpopo, in Eastern Cape, and even here in Mzwanele.
I haven't seen your posters around. Do you have sufficient funding to campaign?
We have sufficient members of the PAC to campaign for us. PAC has never been funded by anyone, but we can't be crybabies, complaining about money, complaining about this. But at least this time, we have members of the PAC behind us. At least this time, we have members of the PAC waking up every morning to campaign and do door-to-doors. Even this morning, I was supposed to be in Utenage, and I came here because of this interview. But the campaign is continuing there. So we are working. In fact, we are even putting posters, and we'll keep on doing that.
Are you not worried that new parties, perhaps I'll be specific, a party like EFF, has eaten into your base in terms of messaging, given that they speak so much about land?
No, I'm not worried. I don't think they are eating into our base. They are eating into the ANC base. And I can't be worried when EFF is gaining support from African people. I believe they are not eating from us. They are eating from the ANC. PAC members are revived, and you will see them.
Of course, I think the evidence will be when those results come out. But the evidence that we have since 1994 has been a trend of a downward trend. So clearly you say you are revived.
And I admitted that.
Yeah, no, sure, I accept that. And 32,000, that also should.
And I admitted that.
Yes.
Yes. Hence the watershed unity conference. It's after the 32,000 you're talking about.
So how are you going to make sure? Because Mr. Mloto, for example, who you have identified as the instigator, if I'm just using my own language, of the troubles in the PAC, am I characterizing it correctly?
I wouldn't want us to really focus on him and talk about him.
No, but the reason why is because he does have people who support him, who also do liaise with us. Are you making perhaps moves to make sure that in the project of trying to build unity, you get him on board?
We're getting everyone on board. We even made the clarion call. Even yesterday, the SFM was reporting that we've invited everyone to come, former members, and everyone to come join PAC.
Sure, the clarion call is for everyone, but I'm specific here because that is the person who, as we speak, is contemplating court. Actually, he's at court in terms of the papers that he has sent.
No, the NEC will decide about an individual. About him, the NEC will have to... Remember, the NEC decided. The NEC subjected him to the TC, the NEC expelled him. So if the NEC decides otherwise, I can't speak on behalf of the NEC when NEC has a resolution about the matter.
Are you willing to work side by side with him?
I'm willing to listen to him if he comes, repent, and say, I've put this party in this man's for the past 13 years, and I'm willing to come join this party and serve it in my particular branch or what. Then the NEC will take it from there.
Well, let's go back to the issue of land, which is it's what really created you as the PAC. You have spoken about you repossessing land. So which sort of land are you going to target? I'm now speaking in general terms, not only restricting myself to the municipalities. Yes.
No. Land to us means everything. Land means mines. Land means minerals. Yeah. Land means everything in the sea, beneath the sea. Land means the air. Land means the space. Land means everything, economy. That is land. Land means reserve bank.
So that is what you'll reclaim?
Definitely. For African people to get liberation, yeah, everything that belongs to them must come back to them.
So are you comfortable with the competency and the qualification of people that you'll hand that land to in terms of working it? Because you can give me the land now, the big farm. I'm not qualified to work it so that it can produce. Where are you going to get those people who will be able to work it and make it productive?
No, the problem, people have been saying Africans don't want land because they cannot work the land. And those people who are saying that are being subsidized. And those people who are saying that are left by their forefathers with billions of rands. And those people who are saying that are left in those farms by their forefathers with title deeds, with the blood of our forefathers. And they say they are the champions of the land. Truth is they're being subsidized. Truth is they were given land with everything. Give an African land with everything. Give an African a farm with a tractor, with everything that is required to work the land, and then say the African is a failure. I don't think so.
But the recent audit on land, which you'd be very well aware of, is that 93% of the people who get given the land either sell it back, or they don't want it, or they prefer money. So how are you going to...
Because they are just given the land. And they are just given the land that take this land with anything to eat, with anything to work the land, with anything to develop the same land. That's why they opted for money. It is not because if there were everything, machinery, to develop that land, they were going to sell it. I don't buy that story. I'll never buy it.
You don't buy that story,
Yeah,
but that's the audit that has been done.
I don't buy the story that Africans are lazy. I don't buy the story that Africans are not interested in land. I know it happened because people were just given a land without the necessary machinery to develop that particular land.
Have you seen some of the land that has been handed back, how it's lying fallow around the country?
No, I did not see it. I'm not interested. I want
no. I understand you.
Yeah.
But we also must base our discussion on facts that are existing at the moment.
Yes.
Yes, the issue of land is quite important, I guess, to everyone.
Yes.
But there are people who have had the opportunity to be given the land
Which
back.
one? Which land?
I
saw Groenewald yesterday saying we don't work the land. He must give us the farm. The farm is staying in. The farm is staying in with all those equipments in that farm, and see if Africans will sell that farm. I listened to him. It can't be true. You can't give an African just land with nothing. Even the so-called willing buyer, willing seller policy that failed from the start. It means for me to buy that farm, that seller must be willing to sell. And where am I going to get the funds to buy that farm? It failed. Everything failed.
So I am saying I understand you very well. I am saying I understand you very well. But in terms of getting people who will be able to work it, because you can have the tractor, but if I can't drive the tractor, what's the point?
We have farmers. We have people who have done BScs in agriculture and everything. In fact, most of these farms, African people are employed to manage these farms. Most of these mines, African people are engineers managing these mines. We must not be given a land to just go there and say, this is the land. We must be given the DBS mine. An African must be given that mine. It's the African land, and it belongs to us.
Are you not going to find yourself in a situation where you take back the land, and then you employ the very people who are working the land, and then you find yourself outsourcing that which you're supposed to do yourself?
No, we'll employ everyone, even if they're interested to be employed, because I don't think they are. Once you talk about land, they threaten to go to Australia. Once you talk about land, they threaten that the investors will be scared. Once you talk about, but what was the reason for us to go to the struggle? The item of conflict is the land. There was no need for us to go to the struggle. We went to jail. We went to exile. We were hanged. We were killed. But we did not die only for these food parcels that are dished out there. Our freedom, for us to get the liberation, we must get the land. Otherwise, there was no need for us to go there. Otherwise, there was no need for all those martyrs who were killed. If we are saying, if we take the land, then for the investors will be scared. What was the need for us to go to the struggle?
Of course, conditions have changed. and the issue of land, as you say, remains important, but conditions have changed. Not all the people may want the land, as you are well aware. My worry is that we take the land, or you take the land, and then you find a situation where you are not able to use it. That's why I used the example of people who have been given the land back, but are not able to use it. In fact, it's lying fallow, or they hand it back, they opt for money.
Because they don't have equipment.
But what are you going to do in terms of equipping them? Are you going to buy the machinery for everyone?
They must be subsidized. These white farmers have been subsidized with everything. They have been subsidized with everything. They've got everything. That is why they call us lazy people. We are lazy because we don't have anything to work that land. We can't develop land without machinery. It is not only about farms. What about mines? It is not only about farms. Those mines are part of the land. Who is owning those farms? Where is this gold going to? After it's being digged out down there, where is it going to? Overseas. When it comes back, we buy it. So let us not only talk about farms. Let's talk about the land question as it is. The reason we can just see an aeroplane, an army jet from India, just go and land in South Africa. It's because the space, we don't even own the space, and that's part of the land. So we must not, we cannot take the issue of land and narrow it only to the agriculture or the farm. That's agrarian reform. Those mines belong to us. That Johannesburg Stock Exchange belongs to us. That Reserve Bank, it's part of the land. It belongs to us.
Let's look at Zimbabwe, at what President Mugabe did. Are you comfortable with the land program that he embarked upon? I was very comfortable. I still am. And the reason why Zimbabwe is in that situation right now is because of the illegal sanctions that were imposed on Zimbabwe only because white people were suffering. Remember, in Zimbabwe, in Matabeleland, before everything, when people, at some point, Zimbabweans fought against themselves in Matabeleland, and people were killed. But white people never sanctioned Zimbabwe. Only when white farmer died, then they started sanctioning Zimbabwe. Are you happy with the current conditions? Or I know that Africans can live anywhere. Or the influx, for example, of people from Zimbabwe who come to South Africa simply because they are seeking opportunities, they have nothing because of those sanctions. Are you happy with that state of affairs?
It is our responsibility as Africans to call on the United Nations and Western powers to remove sanctions on Zimbabwe. They are in that situation because they wanted Zimbabwe to be seen as a failure so that white people can only be seen as messiahs and saviors, which is not true. And this is the reason they want to do here. That's why they are scaring us about investors running away. It is because they don't want us to fight for what? Yes.
So I'm saying, you have said the reason why there are those challenges in Zimbabwe because there were sanctions. So basically, sanctions means no investment coming in. So if you find a situation where investors are scared by your language and then they pull out, so South Africa may face the similar or even worse. How would you manage that kind of a situation?
No, interested countries will come and invest, and interested countries will come and work with us. This is not about Britain and America, who have been doing this to Africans for centuries. Other countries, Eastern countries would come and trade with us. If white people, remember, nobody is chasing white people away. Nobody is saying white people must go to Australia. It's their choice. But we are saying this country, this land belongs to Africans. It's not true that it belongs to all of us, to everyone who live in it. It can't happen. It only happens in South Africa. Of course, we are in a dizzy world. You can't go to America and claim to be an American. It can't be. That country belongs to Americans. So if white people want to stay here as Africans, Sobukwe defines an African as anyone who pays his loyalty and allegiance to Africa and Mother Africa only. Now, if they behave as Africans, nobody's chasing them away. But the land must come to us.
What do you say to someone, a white person, whose grandparents were born here, parents born here, was born here. He's never been outside the borders. The only country he or she knows is South Africa. Do you grant that particular individual the equal status that you accord yourself here in South Africa, looking at your statement saying all people who live in it?
But where is this allegiance?
This person was born here, everything of his is here.
Then he's an African.
Even if he doesn't want, I mean, it's like you decide that you don't want South Africa. The fact of the matter is you remain a South African.
They are Africans. They are Africans. Remember, even in...
So, in that instance, so what do you say to them?
I say they must stay in Africa and be loyal and pay their, their allegiance to Africa. Remember, even as PAC, we have white people who are members of this organization. White people who are members. As early as 1966, when Sobukwe was still alive, Patrick Duncan was the PAC's representative in Algeria. But the problem with white people here, they are not loyal and they don't pay their allegiance to Africa. They belong to America.
Is that not a generalized statement?
Some of them, let me say. But remember, there are black people who were born in America. Their forefathers went there as slaves.
Yeah.
They are still called Afro-Americans.
Yes. All right. As the PAC, do you support this constitution, or you'd want it, if you took over and have the necessary majority, what would you do with this constitution?
This piece of paper that was launched here in Val,
yes,
the one that caused Africans to be landless in the country of their birth, this constitution must definitely be changed. It does not serve the interests of the African people. And this problem, because of this piece of a paper called Constitution. It is this constitution that protects the privileges of white people. It is this constitution that keeps black people in squalor. It is this constitution that keeps us landlessness in the land of our forefathers. It must be changed. And this constitution that is championed everywhere and called the most progressive constitution in the world, and yet there's no country that is using the very same constitution. We are only told by Western countries that it is the most progressive, but their constitutions do not look like this one. So it must be changed.
So what process would you embark on to change it?
Changing constitution needs parliamentary processes and majority in parliament. It must definitely be changed. The constitution must be in favor of the oppressed, and it must be in favor of the indigenous people of that particular country, not this one.
So in the event the PAC were to obviously granted power, that's now in 2024. So clearly the issue of land, you've made that one clear. So I get a sense probably the constitution?
Definitely. In fact, you will see the real liberation. Even white people will only feel as true Africans under the leadership of the PAC. Because we describe an African as anyone who pays his loyalty to Africa, irrespective of color or creed, irrespective of the shape of your nose.
So I think there's been this thing of equality as South Africans. So from what I'm hearing, yes, you are saying if white people pay their allegiance here, so you have no problem with them. But you do clearly seem to be unhappy with perhaps either their existence here or perhaps their way of living in terms of...
I'm not unhappy.
What are you unhappy about?
I'm unhappy with some of their leaders who are clearly have a program to continue oppressing black Africans or Africans. Yeah. Remember, African people were killed, just an example.
Yeah.
African people were killed in Phoenix. I went there. I visited those families.
Yeah.
And you would meet a woman, old woman, who would tell you that my son was attending church somewhere in town.
Yeah.
He was going to the church to play keyboard, and he was killed. And he was asked by Indians, what are you doing in our land? Now remember, what did Steenhuisen did, the DA leader? He called them heroes. I'm not happy with those kind of people. We are not happy with people who are declaring Orania.
I just don't have time now, so I hear you. So, come November 1st, the PAC wins City of Johannesburg, and they just need one vote. No other party is prepared to give you the vote. The Freedom Front Plus says, we can give you the vote.
We'll take that vote. It depends about what will be the terms of the coalition. But truth is, Prazwai, the future of this country is going to be on the coalitions. Not only on the local government. Even in the next national elections, coalitions will be needed. But coalitions need rules. Because these coalitions without rules are a problem. That's why you don't know who is in charge in Nelson Mandela in PE.
So then, how do you work with people like the Freedom Front Plus who are on opposite ends when it comes to land?
We will tell them that this is how it goes. If they don't take it, we cannot compromise. In fact, in our principles, we are as firm as a pine tree. But we never compromise the issue of land.
But you said you'll take the vote.
We'll have to tell them our position. If they don't accept it, we are ready not to govern.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, time flies when you're having fun.
Okay. Thank you very much.
That was the leader of the PAC, Mzwanele Nyhontso. The PAC is very well known about its position on land and, of course, how it feels about a number of issues in the country. Francis, you've heard it for yourself. Back to you.